I was talking to Dennis Friday. He didn't know you were going to be featured in my sermon, and I didn't know it until this minute. We were talking about the different giftings of God. Remember earlier today when I said if nobody shows up for the choir, I was going to sing the song? And Jackie's reaction was we'd all run out screaming, and I don't blame you, okay? I would too unless I was up here singing, because I am a bad singer. I am a legendarily bad singer, okay? That is not my gift. In case you didn't notice, I am not a good singer, and it is not my gift. My gift is teaching God's scriptures, okay? My gift is not singing. My gift is not prophecy. I cannot predict what's going to happen 5 seconds from now with any sort of perfection. My gift is teaching to reveal the scriptures of God. My gift is not singing. My gift is not service. My gift is not administration. For example, how many times have I lost phone numbers, Jackie?
So many.
Okay? My gift is none of those things. My gift is teaching. He gives his church the way he wants to gift them. And we need to remember that our talents are on loan from him. Since I did not create my gift, I cannot brag in it. I can only brag in what God did. Now, we cannot be prideful, else the Lord might do to us what he's going to do to Nebuchadnezzar in chapter 4, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So, he told Nebuchadnezzar that he was the head of gold. Nebuchadnezzar had a gift too, sovereignty over all living things, the birds of the sky, the beasts of the field, and people. We're told that in the passage. It was given to him as a gift by the Most High. God gave him that gift. Jeremiah the prophet had already said 6 years previous to this, speaking for the Lord, "Now I have given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, my servant, and I have given him also the wild animals of the field to serve him. All the nations shall serve him, and his son, and his grandson, until the time of his own land comes. Then many nations and great kings will make him their servant." Now, 6 years prior to Daniel's prophecy, Nebuchadnezzar was told exactly the same thing. Now, Daniel's telling him that he's the head of gold, that he has sovereignty over all these things. So, this gift from God would cause Nebuchadnezzar to grow in sinful pride, in spite of him knowing for a fact that it was a gift from God. He knew these people were recognized prophets. He certainly knew that Daniel was. He knew Jeremiah was. He had seen that the prophecies were accurate. He should have been aware that God gave him the sovereignty and God could have taken away. He knew it was a gift from the Most High. As a reaction to that sinful pride, God would make Nebuchadnezzar live with the animals and eat grass in chapter 4 of Daniel. I highly suggest you read the chapter at home today. It is a very illuminating chapter about pride. Now, God tells us the truth through his messengers, even if we don't like it. But they must remember to be humble. The Lord raises who he wants to raise and humbles who he desires to humble. Our nation would do well to remember that truth. God has given us great wealth. Look around. We're one of the richest nations in the world. How many great famines have we suffered through in our lifetime? Maybe some of you who are living through the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, but that was not in my lifetime, and that wasn't in Jeff's lifetime, that wasn't in Dennis's lifetime, some of you older people, but were you still able to get food? Now, it was more expensive. I'm not minimizing the Dust Bowl. It was a horrible thing. But you were still able to get food. He has given this nation great wealth. For example, if I go grocery shopping today, I can buy food from all over the world. And I'm poor. Okay? He's also given this nation great power. Think about it. Is there any nation or collection of nations who in a war could defeat the United States? No, there isn't. In our pride, we often do the same thing as Nebuchadnezzar. We get prideful about these things, and we really ought not to. God may decide to humble us just like he humbled Nebuchadnezzar. Something to think about, isn't it? That's why I suggested reading Daniel chapter 4. Remember, I did say that we didn't have time to go through the whole book. I'm just taking a shot at it. Okay? We need to ensure that our elected leaders serve God's will on that things. because man's will is cruel and greedy and not the appropriate thing. We make sure they do God's will. After all, we elect them to be our representatives. They act on our authority and with our permission. We need to remember that in this election season. Because after all, we're going to be electing leaders to guide this great nation, this very wealthy nation, this very powerful nation, that could make a huge impact on the world for God if we chose to do it. So I strongly suggest you think about your Christianity in that voting booth. And read Daniel chapter 4 to see what happens to somebody who is prideful. Because God could do the same thing to us. Without even a hesitation, he could do it. Daniel continues. After you, speaking to Nebuchadnezzar, there will arise another kingdom inferior to you, and then another third kingdom of bronze, which will rule over all the earth. After the Nebuchadnezzar, there will be another kingdom inferior to his. We're not told much about the kingdom at the moment. Neither are we told details at this moment about the third kingdom. We're just told that they're coming. There's going to be 2 more kingdoms. Now, we can easily dismiss the second kingdom as obviously the book was written after the second kingdom had already begun. Daniel talks about the second kingdom. He was alive during the second kingdom. He wrote the book after the second kingdom had begun. Okay? So we can easily dismiss that if we were of the mind to dismiss Scripture, which we're not. Now, we could easily dismiss it were it not for the third kingdom. We are told by Daniel that this kingdom would be from Greece. Later on in Daniel chapter 8, and if you refer to the handout I passed out, you see belly and thighs of bronze, that's the third kingdom, leopard with 4 wings, and then goat with 1 great horn broken into 4 smaller ones. Now, we're told by him in chapter 8, verse 21 and 22, the shaggy goat represents the kingdom of Greece, and the large horn that is between its eyes is the first king. The broken horn and the 4 horns that arose in its place represent the 4 kingdoms which will arise from his nation, although not with his power. Now, this section does use different symbols. I did say that we're not going through the whole of the book of Daniel, right? That's why I provided you with the chart. So please consult the chart. And please, check me out and make sure I'm accurate. Because I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You need to check me out in the Scriptures and make sure that I am not wrong. You need to check it out. I'm giving you the chapters to check me out. Now, this goat and the bronze elements in the passage in chapter 2 are referring to what would take place between 336 and 323 BC. Do you remember that year I told you to remember?
520.
Yes, 520 BC. So Daniel is giving a positive identification of events that were 200 years in his future. 200 years or so after Daniel wrote the book, he's giving a positive identification of events down to the details. Down to the details, 200 years in the future. That would be like George Washington predicting the presidency of, 1776, well, 1792, I think is when he was elected. I could be wrong about that. To George Bush in 1992. What George Bush was going to do in 1992. That would be exactly like that. That did not happen. So 200 years in his future, he was giving a prediction that was correct down to the very details. No mere human could do this. Not even the greatest, most brilliant humans that ever lived could do this. The wise men of Babylon could not do this. Only the God in heaven could do this. This is the exact proof of his nature that proves his messages are trustworthy down to the small details. Details? I haven't given you details yet. The first king of the United Greece was Alexander the Great. Alexander's reign as king was from 336 to 323 BC.